as we're going to get set with that very special interview that I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. We're going to go ahead and go to a Zoom call that we've got on mixtv.tv and also here on the radio. We're going to welcome in our special guest. He is a contestant on season 23 of The Voice. Carlos Rising joins me right now. Carlos, how you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic.
Well, first of all, we're going to kind of back up here just a little bit. Carlos, we've been getting some information into the Cleveland-Bradley County area that you are a Walker Valley High School and a Lee University graduate. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's true. I started to go to Walker Valley in 2010, graduated in 2012, went to Cleveland State for 2 years. Don't want to forget Cleveland State.
Go Cougars.
And then after that, went on to Lee University, graduated in 2017.
Wow. So tell us about your time here in Cleveland and Bradley County. Very strong ties here. So basically from Walker Valley to Cleveland State to Lee. So tell us about your time here and some of the memories that you have, Carlos.
Oh, man. Cleveland is such a special place in my heart. It's where I really felt like I was called to do music. My dad was a pastor, and we had moved to Cleveland my sophomore year of high school because he got a new job working for the church denomination I grew up in. And through that, just getting involved in the local church, which was Peerless Road Church, definitely found out that my calling was music. And through that, I have just been given every sort of opportunity I could get to just really cultivate my gift and to cultivate just what I felt like I was supposed to do in life. And so whether that was playing at Emmons Street Coffee Shop near downtown or playing any sort of local block party gig that was near the university, I took every opportunity I can get. And to the people of Cleveland who have given me opportunities, like, you are so much a part of my story, and I am eternally grateful just for what that city has been able to do for me and my family. My parents still live in Cleveland. I go back and visit all the time, and it's a very near and dear place to my heart.
Again, Carlos Rising on the phone with us, also live on mixtv.tv, as we appreciate him taking a few minutes of his time out to come back and speak to us here in our community as a contestant on season 23 of The Voice. And you were fortunate enough, Carlos, of course, this is Blake Shelton's last season. You were very fortunate. Within 10 seconds of performing, Blake Shelton turns around. Tell me what was going through your mind once you know. I mean, it seems like I wouldn't be able to finish the song once you know a seat turns. How do you go through those steps, and what was going through your mind when you seen Blake turn around?
So first of all, it was the most nervous I ever was performing in front of people. I get a little nervous every time I sing in front of people, but this was a little different. You kind of feel the weight of the moment that, for one, you're on a nationally televised broadcast that literally millions of people are going to see. And beyond that, you have your hopes and dreams hanging in the balance too, of just wanting to pursue music. And everybody knows that The Voice is the #1 singing show in America, maybe even in the world. And so you're feeling that pressure. And so when you start performing the song, you think, okay, I'm just going to do my best, and whatever happens will happen. And I know that I put everything I could into the song. And when he turned around in the first 10 seconds, if you look very closely, if you go back and watch, there is a slight buffering that takes place in my mind where I don't know where I'm at. It feels like everything else just kind of melted away. I blacked out, wasn't sure where I was. And then within that like half a second time frame, I said, oh, I'm still singing a song. I got to keep singing the song. But in that moment, I just became super grateful. And I said to myself, no matter what happens, I think that if Blake is the only chair turn, or if I get other chair turns as well, I think I'm leaning towards Blake.
Yeah, and then, of course, they're at the bitter end. I mean, Kelly Clarkson, if she has timing in life, she waited to the bitter end. I think you had strummed your last strum on the guitar. Talking about that, when you were performing there, you were playing the guitar. You were playing a classic song by Eric Clapton, "Change the World," which I've went back and watched multiple times. Carlos, tremendous job not only on the guitar but singing as well under that type of pressure. So now we get to the end. You know that you got Blake there. And then here comes Kelly turning around at the bitter end. And so in any time, what you're saying, you didn't really have a decision to make. It was always going to be Blake. Is that what you're telling me?
So during the performance, yes. But before I went up there, I told myself, if Kelly turns around, I'm going with Kelly. Just because she is one of the best vocalists ever, in my opinion. And we always listened to her music growing up. My dad constantly plays her Christmas album every time the holidays roll around.
Oh, yeah.
So she's always been like a big part of my life. And I feel like out of the 4 coaches that were there, I felt like she had the most to offer someone like me. And when she turned around, I didn't even notice that she turned around. It wasn't until she started speaking to me that I saw her light was lit up. And I said, oh my gosh, she turned for me. And I started to doubt everything that I had thought about, like me already saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be on Blake's team, like no matter what happens. And I really had to think to myself, what do I need to do? Because I respect her so much. I think it'd be a great person to have as your coach. But then Blake started doing it again. He just reaffirmed some of the thoughts that I was thinking. He said that he was once a kid on the guitar. He was once a kid just trying to make it in Nashville. And that since it's his last team ever, he wants to go out with a bang. And if I wanted to be along for that ride, he'd be very proud. And that really spoke to me, knowing it was his last season, that, he saw something within me and didn't have to wait the whole song, but he knew right from the moment that he wanted me on his team. And that was enough for me.
Again, we're speaking with Carlos Rising. We're very proud to have Carlos on our afternoon drive show here today on mixtv.tv via a Zoom interview that we've got also on the radio. He is a contestant this year. You probably have seen him on The Voice Season 23, part of Team Blake now, Blake's final season being a coach. Of course, we've already touched on a graduate of Walker Valley High School, spent time at Cleveland State Community College, and then went to Lee University. I'm just going to go back. Let's visit a little bit about our community again. Carlos, if you don't mind, is there any influences that you remember at Walker Valley and maybe a stop along the way there at Cleveland State and then Lee University? Is there a teacher or someone that kind of reminds you of sticking out in your mind that you feel is somebody that helped you through whatever those times were when you moved here starting high school?
Yeah, definitely. In Walker Valley, there was this teacher. Her name was Miss Woods. She was the Spanish teacher. Yep. And I'm half Hispanic. My mother is from the Dominican Republic. And so it was kind of a requirement for me to take Spanish in high school, just going into it. And she was the most lovely woman I've ever met as far as my high school self was considered. She really poured into me, made it super special, and she was just the sweetest lady possible. And I often think very fondly of her and what it was like being in that classroom. I was a little more shy, but she was very welcoming and the best teacher I ever had. And then when it comes to Cleveland State, that's where I decided to make the switch to studying music. I had gone to study business. I had received a scholarship to go to Cleveland State because my principal at Walker Valley, Danny Coggin, gave me a scholarship to go there. And I was super pumped, super grateful. And he was always wonderful to me as well. And then when I went there, studied business, I decided I think I want to study music. So then I transitioned to a music major. And for my last year there, Miss Dale Karen Dale was my choir teacher. And she just helped me just so much about how to make the connection to academics and music and find this little happy medium, because I never did lessons. I was never a trained musician. I was all by ear, and she really helped set the foundation for me and gave me tons of opportunities to sing at Cleveland State, whether it was at a concert or different events. She was great, and I will always keep those two people just very near and dear to my heart.
That's good stuff. Again, Carlos Rising joins us right now, a contestant on Season 23 of The Voice, kind of reconnecting with him about his time here in our community. What is the biggest misconception, Carlos, about being on a show like The Voice? Now, I know that you made the cut of probably over 80,000 contestants is what some of the press releases say. Going through all of that, of course, has to be nerve-wracking. But then once you're there, you know you're going to get to appear on those blind auditions. What are some of the misconceptions? Is it all staged? Do you know everything that's going to go on besides if they're going to turn around, or is it all just kind of unfolding in front of us as we're watching you?
I can say from firsthand, I knew nothing was going on. Like, I had no idea about what anything was happening. Essentially, you kind of go through the preliminary stages of, applying to be on the show, sending in tapes and stuff like that, doing some interviews. You get out there, and essentially they are very careful about just making it the best overall experience for everybody, for the viewer at home, for the contestants, for the coaches. And so they took great care of me. They made sure I knew everything I needed to know as far as, what song I chose to sing and what key I was doing it in, how the band was going to come in, the arrangement. And they took very good care of me. And by the time I got up on that stage, I essentially had no contact with any coach. Like, they don't know who we are. We had never seen them in passing, didn't hear a peep. And so I think they do that on purpose just because, they want us to have an authentic experience. And that's what it was. So trust me, there is no like man behind the curtain pulling the strings. It is 100% authentic and real and unfolding in front of my eyes as America sees it as well. I didn't know how this was going to be, and when it happened, it happened, and it's just like it is on TV. So The Voice is a great program and run by some really great people who take care of us.
Well, Carlos, I know you can't get into a lot of details because of the way the show airs and different things like that, but is there anything that you can share with us moving forward? We're here on this 23rd day of March. Is there anything you can share, or are you just going to say stay tuned and you'll see what happens? Well, kind of where are you at this juncture?
Yeah, so over the next 2 weeks, they are going to be premiering the battle rounds for this season. So essentially, it means that each person on a team is paired with another person on the same team, and they sing a duet. And through that, the coach gets to decide through that battle who they prefer to still be on the team and who they're going to send home. Now, there's other twists and turns that they're going to reveal about what that looks like later in the show. But over the next 2 weeks, you're going to see a Carlos sighting. I don't know what day specifically. They don't really tell me these things. I kind of have to watch like everybody else at home and just wait till I pop up. But you'll see me in the next 2 weeks for the battle rounds. And you're going to want to tune in for that. I think it's going to be a fun ride for everybody.
All right, Carlos Rising joins us once again, a contestant on The Voice Season 23 on Team Blake Shelton in his final season. Carlos, I know at some point we would love to have you back on as things go further along. What is of course, the ultimate goal is to win The Voice. I mean, that would be something we would be so proud of. But let's just say we're looking forward. Is music something after this show, whatever happens here, that you're hoping to just make this your future, your career? Is this the end goal for yourself?
Yeah, I knew that no matter what happened, even if I didn't get a chair turn, that this was going to be a point of where I say, I'm pursuing this and I'm going to do it with everything that I have. It's one thing to imagine yourself doing it, and it's something completely different of actually doing it. And so, I feel like all of us contestants want to go far. We want to get the most out of this experience. And ultimately, you want to win. You get a record contract. You can start making music under the label and all this kind of stuff. But I know that no matter what happens, the best is yet to come for me. And I'm going to work tremendously hard to make my music my career. I am a full-time musician now for the past 2 years, but that means like a lot of like doing lessons and doing like gigs at restaurants and cafes and stuff like that. But ultimately the goal is to write and produce and record music for everybody to enjoy and to tour and to do all that fun stuff. Win a Grammy, who knows?
Yeah.
But this is the goal, this is the dream, and I'm going to pursue it no matter what happens.
You mentioned Inman Coffee earlier, and that just kind of ties it all back together there. What a great venue. And I know a lot of people that's been part of The Voice and other singing competitions from our area has been there at Inman Coffee. Joel Rogers and everybody, they have to be pretty excited about you guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, that Inman Street specifically is such a great venue for either seasoned artists or up and coming artists who just want to try their foot in the, put their foot in the door. I think I was 18 the first time I ever performed there. And I had been back a handful of times, maybe 5 or 6 times I've played at shows there. And it's always an amazing experience. Joel is a great guy who believes in his community and always wants to give them a platform to showcase their talent. So much love to Inman Street.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a person in the back. Austin Chadwick is part of our Mix TV family. He's our producer. Austin, I'm going to get you to come in here. Can you hang on with us just another second, Carlos? What I'd like for you to do, though, before we go, I'm going to get him to come in live with us if he can set that up, because I think that this would be a kick that his people that he wants to surprise will be. So, Austin, if you can come on in. I'll put you in audition here, and I'm going to introduce you. Carlos, this is my good friend Austin Chadwick. Is a producer here for us, so I'm going to let you say hello to him, and he's got a special request that is going to make some people very excited.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, we're excited to see you, and was excited to see you on The Voice a couple weeks ago. We definitely loved your performance and stuff. But no, I've got 2 daughters, Bailey and Brooke, and so I'd love for you to be able to give them a shout out if you would.
Yeah, Bailey and Brooke, you guys are awesome. You have a great dad. He'll do anything for you.
That'd be awesome. They'll love that. I know that we will. We're going to enjoy watching you move forward in the Voice. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, well, Carlos, thanks for your time today, buddy. We're right here in this community. We're rooting you on. If you get down the pike there and you need us, we're right here. We're right here in Cleveland waiting on you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So we definitely appreciate you. We're so proud of you. And once we knew that we had another person from this community that is doing tremendous things out there. And the name of your band, I'm going to do this before we go, Carlos. I guess it's Holy Heat. Is that right?
Yeah, we're a blues and rock band that kind of does old school music. And it's a fun. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina now, but we play music all over, and it's a great band. We're on Spotify and all that kind of stuff, so you can go look us up. That's why I wanted to mention that. So Holy Heat, go to Spotify and find some of your music, right? Yep, correct. All right. Well, Carlos Rising, great individual. Very nice to meet you today. You are doing our community proud. We're so proud of you, man. And you just tell Team Blake if he's got a problem, he needs to just give us a call. We'll straighten him out. Oh, for sure. He would love that. All right. Thanks so much, Carlos. We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, so that's it. There's it. A great interview, Austin, with Carlos Rising, a person from The Voice that is a contestant on season 23. And you were pretty excited when you knew that we was going to do this interview. You said, "Now I've got to be able to get in there for just a second."
Yes,
and we made it happen. I promised you we would.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's such a good story from our community, going to Walker Valley, Cleveland State, and Lee University.
Yeah, I did not know the Cleveland State side of that.
And I love his connection with Miss Wood up at Walker Valley, because I had her, and she's just fantastic, like he said. And it's just, we love to see people succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.